So now that we know what focus is, and before we explore how we then do this shift towards achieving ruthless focus and start looking for solutions to address procrastination, jumping from one goal to another, ineffective goal setting, poor focus, etc., which, by the way, are all the symptoms from not having a clear and inspiring purpose, having poor goals and poor focus. We need to understand that there is a direct link between our ability to focus, our productivity, and the outcomes we achieve and what we want to achieve in our lives and our business. Your ability to focus determines your productivity, which I've alluded to is a symptom of good or poor focus, and whether or not and against what timeline you achieve your goals and ultimately your life and business purpose. So the term massive transformative purpose was coined in the book Exponential Organizations by Salim Ismail et al. I know Craig is going to immediately share the link there as well because he has that somewhere at hand, which describes the new breed of organizations that outperform the 20th century peers by 10x or more. While this is all discussed in a business context, the same exponential attribute can also be applied on your personal life, potentially with very transformative and even disruptive outcomes. We will use the massive transformative purpose, and the acronym I'm going to use is MTP in the place of a vision, and we will understand better why in a moment. So now that we know what focus is, and there are 3 different types of focuses, I'm repeating myself because we need to remember this. And if we do not understand how we measure on each of these types, and we do not master the 3 types of focus, we will not be able to achieve true productivity. Just to remind us again, I'll share the focus types here again: short-term focus, transitional focus, and long-term focus, which is your vision. We also need to understand what true productivity really is and remind ourselves that our productivity is influenced by our ability to focus. We can identify 5 levels of productivity. The first is procrastination. This is the lowest level of productivity or no productivity which takes place. We can't really achieve less than this from a productivity perspective. The second level of productivity is we are working on the wrong things. This is when you work on unproductive tasks that contribute little to your overall vision. The third level of productivity is when we're working on things that don't improve your life. The fourth level of productivity is when we work on the right things. But this is when you work on the task or projects that move you towards your massive transformative purpose, but it's not the ultimate level of productivity you would like to achieve. The ultimate level of productivity you would like to function at and aim for is working on the right things the right way. And this is the difference between productivity level 4 and productivity level 5. So, how do we get to working on the right things in the right way? This happens when your short-term, your transitional, and long-term focus are great. That is, your purpose is exciting, your plan is well designed, and your concentration is excellent. This is the situation you should aim for. It will allow you to achieve most of your goals over the long term. So just quickly, we're not going to take responses on this question. Just reflect for a moment. Ask yourself, how well do you rate yourself now on how well would you rate yourself on these different productivity levels? How much time do you spend at level 1 procrastinating? How much time do you think you spend on working on the things that improve your life? How much time do you actually spend working on the right things the right way? Just a personal reflection there. Just take a moment to reflect. Then I'll move on. We don't need to respond. We're not doing this poll yet. This is just a personal reflection. Okay. Interesting question, hey? Good. So we're building, we're getting somewhere here. Now, identifying the right goals on which you would like to focus is in turn very dependent on you knowing and being very clear on what you want. This is when you work on the right things the right way. The more clarity you have, the more likely you are to reach the desired outcomes in your life. In fact, I contend that a lack of clarity is one of the main reasons people don't achieve their goals and struggle with focus and productivity. Most people only have vague goals, and at best, vague goals promote vague results as a result of not being able to focus. So, the SMART goals system provides us with a framework for creating effective goals that can turn your personal and business MTP or your purpose into progress. What does SMART stand for? First, we're going to look at specific. Specific is a well-defined and focused on specific areas of improvement. So I know what I'm focusing on. It's very specifically stated, and we'll look at an example later. And it's only focusing on specific areas that will help me achieve improvement. Then the M stands for measurable. This is progress can be tracked in some way. It's achievable within your abilities and your control. I'm emphasizing it. It's within your abilities and your control, not somebody else's control. It's realistic, so it's aligned with your available resources like time, money, etc. And it's time-based. So results should be achieved on a timeline by a deadline. On a timeline by a deadline. So I love emphasizing the deadline part because we sometimes forget that when we define our goals. Good. So I need to manually go to the next slide every now and again for some reason. So to know what you should focus on every day, you must establish a clear purpose. And now I'm going to start touching on that new term, massive transformative purpose, or MTP for simplicity's sake. You must establish a clear purpose for your life and for your business, and in that order. We'll understand why now. Everyone is or trying to run at full speed. Technology is racing forward and there is no slowing down. To catch up with a breakneck pace of innovation, companies put frenzied efforts into becoming more agile, employing a human-centric approach to design and creating labs to push the boundaries of industry definitions and the human imagination. There is a big premium placed on business creativity, human empathy, and speed. But in the process of speeding up and deploying the latest technologies, we forget why we are doing this in the first place. What we need is a purpose. Any massive transformative effort requires one, and so does every person and business. In any organization, purpose needs to engage all levels of employees and stakeholders. They need a massive transformative purpose to drive a new level of human performance that goes beyond seeking profit. Now, I know that I got some of your attention. Chasing profit can become a distraction if you don't know and understand why you're doing what you are doing. I can, however, tell you, if you focus on delivering your MTP, profits, remember MTP, your massive transformative purpose, profits will flow with great ease and in abundance to you. An MTP needs to be more than just a large mission statement. If we look at Tesla and Google quickly, for example, they rely on their MTPs to release energy that gives them the power to their organizations to achieve near impossible goals. We like to use words like vision, mission, and purpose frequently and interchangeably, but do we really know what they mean and how they are similar or different? And for the purpose of this masterclass, I need you to understand what the differences are. So I'm just going to spend a little bit of time on helping us understand where we are coming from. A mission statement helps a business or a person set a direction for its behavioral compass. An example would be to make the process of buying a life insurance simple, efficient, and stress-free. Now, this takes the outward focus further, not only emphasizing the importance of customer centricity as an example, but also putting managers and employees in charge of constantly improving customer experience. It centers on the question, what are you really doing for your customers instead of selling the policy? Knowing what is needed is one thing which enables us to mobilize is a more difficult one. So mission is the one thing, knowing in which direction we are going and what it is that we are going to do. Now, a vision statement is a declaration of an organization's objectives and should subscribe what type of business the organization is and isn't, both now and projecting into the future. Its aim is to provide a sense of focus for strategic planning. Vision provides focus for strategic planning, not for the why the reason exists. So it does not serve, as I say, the answer for why, but is instead future and goal orientated. So how does a company's purpose differ from its vision or mission statement? An MTP statement is about finding a bigger reason why a company should exist. It's finding that big reason on your life purpose as well, and I'm going to touch on that. So Steve Jobs' version of purpose for Apple was to make a contribution to the world by making tools for the mind that advance humankind. Now, every time I read that statement, it tells me it's an engaging model and it connects with both the heart and the mind. That's how it differs from a vision and a mission statement. We therefore address our vision and mission statement for our lives and for our business as part of our effective planning. And our MTPs is the heartbeat of our exponential lives and our business and the foundation which we build everything else on. And that is why I have MTP as the foundation in this triangle.
Liezel?
Yes.
Khalees was asking a question which I think is worth pausing for. So she's saying, for MTP in organizations, should we always ask ourselves what is the purpose for transformation? Cause to me means we are bringing meaning to whatever we're transforming. Context and people can identify with the change or transformation. So do you want to give that a whirl? And I've got some thoughts as well.
Go for it, Craig. Share, please. This is about all of us sharing.
Yeah. So I think, one of if we just take a step back, if we think about vision and mission, or mission and vision in that order, they tend to be more from the company's perspective and therefore more inside out. They tend not to actually attract abundance or attract the community and the purpose, that you're serving in the community that you're serving. And the community could be as big as Africa, as is the case with our democratizing entrepreneurship in Africa. So an MTP is more outside in, and it attracts abundance, it attracts people that share that purpose, that want to contribute to that purpose and want to make a difference and transform. So in terms of, sorry, there's just another comment here that distracted me. In terms of bringing meaning to whatever we're transforming, absolutely yes. I think that's clear. That there's a shared meaning, there's a shared purpose for collaborating and not competing, actually. So we don't compete aggressively around an MTP. We collaborate aggressively, and we try and make a bigger purpose work as a collaborative with the collective. I think I've said enough.
Thank you very much. MTP is the reason for why the organization exists. It's the big why question that we answer here. We are going to host a MTP masterclass, Craig, on the 12th of March, and I'll touch on that in a moment. But thank you very much for that question. Now, again, I want to remind us, if we don't understand how our focus, our productivity, our goals, and our purpose interlinks with each other, we will struggle to master focus and achieve ruthless focus, and therefore the reason why we exist. So we need to, what does MTP stand for? Those three words we see: massive, transformative, and purpose. Each of them have a specific meaning. So massive is something which is audaciously big and aspirational, where transformative can cause significant transformation to an industry, a community, or the planet. And purpose, there's a clear why behind the work being done, something that unites and inspires action. And the example Craig used in his feedback is that this is what attracts your customers, because they aspire to and they are inspired by your reason for existence. It's a good solution to attracting the right customers as well, and the right employees as well. So every person, team, and organization needs a reason for being, or else we risk not knowing what we're actually doing, let alone why we're doing it. This matters even more when going big. Remember that our purpose does not serve our vision and mission. It helps us to create it and inspires ruthless focus and true productivity. Purpose is essential. It's what gives you a reason to get up in the morning. And it's those same reasons why also the people that work for you, your teams, why they get up in the morning. And people give life to our businesses. After all, that is what is a company without people. So if you have an inspiring purpose and you attract the right people, that will contribute significantly to helping you achieve ruthless focus for your business, but the same goes for your personal life. So, and as I've mentioned earlier, having a clear business and personal MTP allows you to define SMART goals and craft an effective plan, which you can break down into smaller tasks that helps you with your focus. As you complete these small tasks every day, you can be confident that you are heading in the right direction. In other words, achieve true productivity, your SMART goals and your MTP in a shorter time period. The bottom line is that it's difficult to improve your focus unless you know where you're going. Sure, you can have an incredible ability to concentrate. I've seen some of you rate yourselves very high on the short-term focus concentration. But if what you focus on doesn't improve your life, why are you doing it in the first place? Keep in mind, what you do every day is either moving you towards your goals or away from it. Craig, can we do the poll again? I know we had a high 79% and 21% yes, but I would like to see what has happened with that yes and no shift. Just quickly, a few seconds. Let's do this poll again. If you keep doing what you're doing today or this week or next month, will you end up where you want to be in 1, 5, or 10 years? Consider everything I've said. Now, if you want to change your answer, you're welcome to. But let's see if there's any shift that has taken place here. Please do vote and submit.
Awesome. Yeah, the voting is zooming ahead. We've got about 30 responses. I know there's quite a few of you, more than that of you on here. So please do give us your sense now that you've better understood the need to focus and the way to focus, and the need for a purpose. So we're down to, it looks completely different. So we're looking at 59% no and 41% yes. So
interesting.
you've
Interesting.
already helped people to change.
Okay, that's very interesting. Because if we can understand what influences our ability to focus and achieve productivity, we're making big strides towards working towards helping ourselves here. Let's move forward.
Cool. So I'll end the poll.
Thank you very much, Craig.
And just share it so that it's on the recording.
Okay, 58% no, 42% yes. Okay, there's some shifting starting to happen already. Good. So I'm going back to asking one of my favorite questions again. And remember the question where we're trying to help this poor guy to get out of the treadmill, which we did the poll now. Sorry, I don't see there's something happening here on my side. So the reason I ask myself this question, and I do this very often, by the way, and it could become a daily practice for you, is it helps me ensure that I make every day count. It helps me identify the key tasks I must focus on and work on, and it helps me to avoid kidding myself by working on unproductive tasks, because we think if I'm busy, I'm being productive and I'm working towards achieving my goals and my purpose. We want to become purposeful in the tasks we select. And when we start shifting a little bit more in a moment, we will achieve great and significant impact changes in our lives. So when I answer no to any of those questions for too many days, I know something has to change. What about you? If you keep doing what you're doing today or this week, will you end up where you want to be in 5 years? Again, in my full course, we go into greater activities where we unpack these and we actually start formulating a plan to help me achieve a lot of focus. Craig, I'm sure you can start sharing that link for people to pre-register in the meantime while we continue.